అందరికీ నమస్కారములు. నమో నమః. సర్వేభ్యో నమస్కారః. గురుభ్యో నమః. Today is another lecture, the third in the series on Vedas. Now our today's Guruji is Sitaram Ayagari Garu. I'll introduce him briefly after we pay.
prayer అయిపోయిందా?
So, okay. We pay our respects to our country by reciting Vande Mataram and then Prarthana. So let us request Challa Chittibabu Garu to recite Vande Mataram, please. Just to.
Vande Mataram.
Vande Mataram. Sujalam Sufalam Malayaj Sitalam Sasya Syamalam Mataram Vande Mataram. Subrajosna Pulakitayaminim Pullakusumita Drumadala Shobhinim Suhasinim Sumadhura Bhashinim Sukhadam Varadam Mataram Vande Mataram. Vande Mataram.
Vande Mataram. ధన్యవాదములండి Challa Chittibabu Garu. Thank you so much. Now we'll go for Prarthana. Lakshmi Garu, please chant Prarthana.
Sarvebhyo Namaha. 1 minute meditation followed by 3 times Samkara and then Prarthana.
లక్ష్మి గారు మీరు మ్యూట్ లో ఉన్నారు. ప్రార్థన జరగట్లేదు. మ్యూట్ లో ఉన్నారు. మళ్ళీ ఇంకా మ్యూట్ లోనే ఉన్నారు.
వినిపిస్తుందా అండి ఇప్పుడు?
ఇప్పుడు వినిపిస్తుంది.
ఓకే అండి. ప్రార్థన మొదలు పెడతానండి. ఓంకారం అయిపోయింది.
ప్రార్థన మొదలెట్టు.
ఓం గణానాం త్వా గణపతిగుం హవామహే కవిం కవీనాం ఉపమశ్రవస్తమం జ్యేష్ఠరాజం బ్రహ్మణాం బ్రహ్మణస్పత ఆనశృణ్వన్నోతిభిः सीदसादनम् ఓం శ్రీ మహాగణాధిపతయే నమః. ఓం ప్రణో దేవి సరస్వతి వాజేభిర్వాజినీవతి ధీనామ విచ్యవతు. ఓం శ్రీ మహాసరస్వత్యై నమః. గురురేవ గతి గురుమేవ భజే గురునైవ సహాస్మి నమో గురవే. న గురో పరమం శిశురస్మి గురోః మతిరస్తి గురౌ మాం పాహి గురో. జ్ఞానానందమయం దేవం నిర్మలస్ఫటికాకృతిం ఆధారం సర్వవిద్యానాం హయగ్రీవముపాస్మహే. శృతిస్మృతిపురాణానాం ఆలయం కరుణాలయం. నమామి భగవత్పాద శంకరం లోకశంకరం. శంకరం శంకరాచార్యం కేశవం బాదరాయణం. సూత్రభాష్యకృతో వందే భగవంతో పునః పునః. ఈశ్వరో గురురాత్మేతి మూర్తిభేద విభాగిని వ్యోమవద్వ్యాప్తదేహాయ దక్షిణామూర్తయే నమః. అసతో మా సద్గమయ తమసో మా జ్యోతిర్గమయ మృత్యోర్మా అమృతం గమయ. ఓం శాంతి శాంతి శాంతి. మాతృదేవో భవ పితృదేవో భవ ఆచార్యదేవో భవ దేవో భవ. ఓం సహనావతు సహనౌ భునక్తు వీర్యం కవావహై. ఓం శాంతి శాంతి శాంతి. హరి ఓం శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః.
హరి ఓం శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. ధన్యవాదములండి లక్ష్మి గారు. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్.
ధన్యవాదాలండి.
ఓకే, నౌ we will briefly introduce our speaker for today, Sitaram Ayagari garu. He is working for a startup in US as a senior solution architect, which gives him deep insights into global business processes spanning diverse industries and ERP applications. With a strong background in data architecture, Sitaram Ayagari garu has led the design and implementation of cutting-edge data management solutions that drive AI-based analytics at various organizations. His commitment to bring a positive impact on society by crafting comprehensive AI-driven solutions for organizations and individuals from all walks of life, ensuring inclusivity and accessibility across diverse sectors. Sitaram garu is a Krishna Yajurvedi with training in Sanskritam, Krishna Yajurvedam, Karnataka music, and Jyotisha Shastram. He is a writer and a speaker on various aspects of Veda mantras, Puranas, and Itihasas. He founded Sri Sarada School of Music, Houston, and has been training students in Karnataka's classical music for a little over more than 17 years. He is the author of a book, The Science of Aruna Prasna, which explains science behind Aruna Prasna mantras, which are part of Krishna Yajurveda Aranyakam. Today's topic is on this topic itself, Aruna Prasna, the science behind Aruna Prasna. So it is a combination of science and also Sanatana Dharma. So how they are related, he investigates what is the relation, scientific point of view, given in Aruna Prasna, Krishna Yajurveda Aranyakam. He is an executive member for a non-profit organization called IHAR USA. So this is the very brief outline profile of Sitaram Garu. With this short introduction, I request him to start the webinar, please. Can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, I did. Thank you so much, sir. I'm really humbled to do this. um, so today, yes, definitely I'm author for the Aruna Prashna, Science of Aruna Prashna. So today I would like to walk you through the some of the topics. What is the thought process behind the the book, and how I analyzed slightly differently from the traditional translations, and the where I wanted to go with these kind of interpretations. So bear with me. I will be walking you through my presentation about how the whole thing happened. Sir, how do I share my screen, my presentation?
You have a button called share.
I don't have. Oh,
Don't
share
have?
screen. Yeah, I see it. Sorry. All right. Can all of you can see my screen?
Yeah.
So you can see my presentation. PowerPoint presentation, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so many windows open. So this is presentation. I will quickly go through some of them, and I will spend good amount of time on some of them. So this is today I'm with VSS. Basically, I would like to just brief on Vedas, Vedangas. You already know Pramanas and Darshana, and Mimamsaka and Apurva. Then I will go to the what is my framework. The framework in the sense how do you interpret or how do you translate a Vedic verse. Then we'll talk about some of the topics like a time and gravity, or earth formation according to Aruna Prashna. Then, so basically, this is the synopsis of all the information that we have, like Veda. There are 4 Vedas, and each Veda has got 4 parts to it: Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka, and Upanishads. Then, to understand how to interpret these Veda mantras, we have got Siksha, Kalpa, Vyakarana, Nirukta, Chandas, and Jyotish Shastras. So these are called Vedangas, and why all together it will give you sufficient knowledge to interpret these Veda mantras. But there is more to it. So let's go one by one. So we have got pramanas, right? Pramanas in the sense where we will get educated, or when you know about something. How do you know about something? You have got 5 senses, right? Eyes, ears, and nose, tongue, and hands, skin, right? So these are all kind of pratyaksha pramanas. Like if you touch something, you know that is there. If it is cold or hot, you know by touching. And when you see something, yes, it is there. If you see a tree, there is a tree. If you see a moon, there is a moon. Then comes the Anumana Pramana. Even though you do not see everything, you see something and you derive something. That's called Anumana Pramana by reasoning. Then Upamana. you correlate certain things, compare and and you will derive an analogy. Then comes the Shabda Pramana. Shabda Pramana is not just a hearing, it is the testimony of the past experts like rishis, maharishis, and whatever they have been, like a lineage, they passed it on to us. That's called Vedas, right? Then we have got the Ardhapati, which is a circumstantial implication. It is a little complicated than first four. Then Anupalabdhi is also negative perception. So you always see a negative side of things and you start analyzing it. So out of all these pramanas, science is based on Pratyaksha and Anumana. Upamana, Shabda, Ardhapati and Anupalabdhi is native. It is us. It is the Sanatana Dharma's native ones. Next comes then we have got darshanas. So darshanas is drusyate anena idi darshanam, right? So you have to see an object, you think when you contemplate on certain thing, you have to see a holistic view, right? So those holistic views are there are 6 varieties of holistic views. One is a Nyaya Shastra, then was the Vaishashika, then the Sankhya, then the Yoga, Purvamimamsa, and Uttaramimamsa. And each one has got its own merits and demerits, or in a sense, not demerits in the sense of limitations. However, they're all talk about very they're all get to a point where it is the knowing the existence and the nature of the Brahman, nature of Jiva, and nature of this dynamic Jagat, and the moksha or the liberation. So they talk about this is the motto, objective of these darshanas, but they have got their own way of explaining stuff. In this topic, in this narration, I would like to talk about the only Purvamimamsa and Uttaramimamsa in the sense that I'm a Mimamsaka, so I will give you a perspective from the Mimamsa standpoint. So what exactly Mimamsakas are? So they believe in Vedas being Anadi. Basically, it is timeless. Apaurishaya, it is not authorized by anyone, right? So when it is, then here we'll have a question, right? Aghora Rishihi, actually, when we say Namakam, when we say Aghora Rishihi, then why did we say Aghora Rishi for the Veda mantras? And now I am saying Vedas as Apaurishaya. So there is a different philosophy to it. Aghora Rishi did not create these Veda mantras. He envisioned the Veda mantras. He put all his taposhakti into these Veda mantras, and he gave it to us as a lineage or something like that. But we Mimamsaka still believe these original mantras are not done by anyone that we know of. Next one is Swata Pramana. So we no need to have another science or another textbook or another's opinion to validate the whatever Veda says. Vedas are self-pramana, it can stand on by its own. So it is impeccable, immaculate Shastra. Then it is the most important and infallible Shabda. So this is the stand of Mimamsakas. Then comes what is Apurva. Apurva means, see, when for every action there is a reaction, right? So for every physical action there is a physical reaction. However, sometimes you don't see the physical reaction right away, but you will definitely see a physical perceivable results sometime in the future for the actions you perform today. That's Apurva. For the Newtonian third law, action causes an equal and opposite reaction, is instantaneous. But Apurva says it is not necessarily instantaneous. Sometimes it's instantaneous, but sometimes it may take its own time, but definitely it will happen. So now, all the interpretations and analysis of my book is based on the Mimamsa standpoint. This is my disclaimer.
Sitaram Garu, sorry
Sitaram
for
garu.
interruption. If you can increase the font size, or because it's not visible for some of the people.
Oh, is that right? So what page you see? What do you see?
Frameworks.
Oh no, I know only one screen you see or two screens you see.
Yeah, there are
I'm
two
seeing
screens.
two screens.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay,
Right.
let me share the other.
Right. No, it's okay. Yeah, go ahead.
That's a
Namaste,
good.
Sitaram Garu. Namaste. I
Namaste.
wanted, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I
again,
wanted to tell you. So, yeah, we'll talk
right.
later.
Let me share the actual screen. That
Now it's okay.
Yeah, you can make a full screen, Sitaram.
yeah, but the problem is not that. When I make it full screen, I have got two screens. So when I put full screen, it's coming to the opposite screen and it is making a mess.
This is okay. You can continue with this.
With this, okay.
Yeah.
Then my framework. How do I analyze? See, because this one is a traditional translation, right? So what is Aruna Prashna? It is housed in Krishna Yajurveda and it has got 32 Anvakas and 132 mantras. And mantras of Aruna Prashna deals largely with the Surya Upasana. Then it is also called Surya Upanishad. And why do we do this Aruna Parayana, Aruna Yajnas, and all kinds of stuff? Is because of life enhancement, progeny, and removal of eye disorder and banishment of untimely deaths. And also there are so many other stuff available in Aruna Prashna. And the frameworks. When I do this framework, I mean, I studied the translations of the original translation. I mean, traditional translations by a lot of people, including Senacharya and Bhattacharya, sorry. However, my framework is slightly different from their framework. That's why I explicitly put a slide for this. So first of all, when I study one mantra or set of mantras, anuvaka or set of anuvakas, which makes sense, to put it into one pool, and I say I will find out, try to figure out what is the subject, what exactly these mantras are talking about, what is the central idea of these mantras. Once I identify the subject, then I will study the related material within available sources that I have with Puranas, Ramayanas, Mahabharata, whatever text I have, and also I look into modern science. That's is the second step of once I identify the subject, study the subject very thoroughly, because Veda mantras are very, very precise, very precise. To decoding that takes a lot of time. You need a lot of knowledge. So for that knowledge, I will rely on other shastras. Then I go apply the knowledge to the interpretation. So I have got the knowledge of this. I have got the subject. I have got a lot of knowledge on the subjects. Then I will go revisit the Veda mantras with acquired knowledge and see what best how best I can interpret these Veda mantras. Then also the common sense issues also we have to take care when you interpret these Veda mantras. There's common sense things are culture, history, geography, then atmospheric history of atmosphere and things like that. So then we will go on what are all there in my book. Well, again, Aruna Prashna has got so many things. My book is only talks about 6 topics: Bhumi, Vayumandalam, that is atmospheric layers; Varsha, the rains; Gurutvakarshana, that is gravity; Surya Rasmi, this electromagnetic radiation; and Yajna Bandhu is quantum entanglement. So why? So what? I mean, because every Mahapurana will talk about the Khagola Shastra, right? Mahapuranas has got some minimum things that has to be there, right? So that's one of the thing is Khagola Shastra, and it is in every Purana, in Mahapurana, it is described with similarities and also add some values to whatever existing with other Puranas, right? But this particular Aruna Prashna has got a very distinguished hypothesis on how Earth is formed. And we talked about the gravity and all other shastras also, but Aruna Prashna gave us a very precise two types of gravities. It talks about the Newtonian gravity. It also talks about the Einstein gravity. We will see in a bit. And so when I talk about the Earth, then I have to, as I said, I have to study what are all the existing hypotheses for the Earth. Um, uh, these are all hypotheses because none of us exist when Earth is formed. So all these are hypotheses. But what makes sense to me today with my existing knowledge, then I'll go with them. And 100 years from now, maybe my hypotheses are wrong. I don't know. But today, I have to honestly admit myself, acquire the knowledge, understand it thoroughly, and then interpret these Veda mantras. So, and I'm not going very deeply into it. This is the most accepted hypothesis how Earth is formed. So they talked about how universe is formed, from universe how Earth is formed. So they talked about the Big Bang theory. Then they said, okay, Big Bounce theory. Then what they said is, okay, now it is expanding. At some time it will contrast again, then again expands again. So you see those diagrams here. And also there is a uh, epirotic model also. These are all the models, by the way. These are all the models. All of them can be, one of them can be correct, or none of them can, all of them can be wrong. So then we'll go back to then they have got hypothesis on how the solar system is formed. After the universe is formed, after a few billion years, then solar system formed, right? So how the solar system formed? Again, there is a nebular hypothesis. We will see one by one. Like this is the nebular hypothesis, right? Solar system started with the solar nebula. Nebula was interstellar gas and dust created by Big Bang, and all these particles. So gravity. So then external event initiate. See, here is very important. An external event. Everyone agreed that there is an external event initiated the gravitational collapse of the nebula. Why it is important? We will see in a minute in our when we'll analyze the Aruna Prasna mantras. So an external event is initiated and gravitational collapse of this nebula, and the collapse subsequently led to the formation of protoplanetary disk. Okay, so it is like a disk, right? Our solar system is like a disk, but but it is not. All the planets are not on the plate. Some of the above the plate, some of the below the plate. Okay, then the center of the disk further collapsed into form the sun. It's all formed with cosmic dust, and some external event happened. Then they start collapsing. So some of them came together. So some stones kind of thing happened. Then these with the gravity, those two stones came together. Then they formed bigger stone and bigger stone and bigger stone and things like that. So that's how these formed. Okay, now the rest of the disk. So once the sun is formed, all the rest of the dust in various places of the disk then formed all other planets, including the Earth. Next, what happened on Earth? We have got very specific things on Earth compared to all other planets. So we have got our own hypothesis. So basically, the fundamental particle is gluon. Up gluon, two ups and a down forms a proton. Two downs and an up forms a neutron. So this what do you call? Quarks. These are called quarks. Two up quarks and a down quark. And you see this wave kind of wave like piece is there, right? That is called gluon, which is glues two quarks together. So all three quarks together forms a proton. All these three quarks, this orientation forms a neutron. That's the thing. So this is once the proton and neutron fused together with, gluons are fused to form protons and neutrons. Then there is a further fusion happen among the protons and among the neutrons, forming the nucleus, and then atoms formed, then the elements formed, and so on and so forth. Every first helium formed, like hydrogen nuclei produced helium, lithium, beryllium. Then isotopes of hydrogen like a deuterium, tritium, and all formed. Then formed a carbon. Then carbon and hydrogen formed the hydrocarbons, so on and so forth. So that's the evolution so far that we know. Now, the mysterious thing is how Earth got water, because that without water we cannot survive, right? So how Earth is formed? Where does water came from Earth? Again, there are so many hypotheses. Okay, some people more than half of the water on Earth is older than Sun itself and has come as from our solar system. So that's one of the beliefs. But some believe water came via icy planetesimals that collide with Earth. lot of people criticize this particular hypothesis, but some people really believe this is what the case is. Then some believe water was trapped with the rocky meteoroids and collided from the earth to form the earth. So they think that there are other planets, it from other universe it came and just settled down on earth. Some people believe, some people don't believe it. So and so forth. There are so many hypotheses. But so then how life is formed? Then we have got the abiogenesis hypothesis. People believe that cellular life has came from the inorganic matter to become an organic matter. Then cyanobacteria came into being, and that is thought to have produced a first large quantities of oxygen in the atmosphere. Again, some people believe, some people don't believe this. But why I said all this? Because this is the scientific version of what scientists thinking about how Earth is formed. Now let's see what our mantras actually says about how Earth is formed. So, that is how the mantra starts, right? Then it goes all the way. Tadevano pravijati evam Veda. So this is the 23rd Anuvakam of Aruna Prasna. Basically, it talks about the creation process of the earth. Okay. Before the world that we see around was what's created, there is existing only Salilam. Okay, not gods, not humans, nothing. Okay, then there is a Prajapati. He's actually sitting on the lotus leaf. Then he suddenly got up. Then he thought, okay, he has to do the creation. This is in the Aruna Prashna Mantras story. And we have got the similar story in a lot of Puranas also, but we'll take the Aruna Prashna as Pramana. This is strictly Aruna Prashna. I'm talking about the Aruna Prashna Mantras. Then he thought of, creating the earth, creating the universe. Then he's thought about it, and he's about to create universe. Then he saw a turtle in the water. Then he said, how come I have not started my creation yet? How come you came into existence? Then turtle said, I'm always there. So then the Prajapati actually realizes that is now the turtle is none other than Sahasraksha Sahasra Purushaha Sahasraksha Sahasrapada Bhuto Datisthate Tamabravid. So that is how the mantra starts, where Prajapati himself requests the turtle, who is none other than Narayana, so Lord Vishnu, and he asked him to create the universe. Then he assumes Narayana assumes all his creation power, and he starts doing the creation. So I will show you the creation process in a bit. But what all he does is he takes handful of water and he offers back, then asks sun to rise. Sun rises. Whatever direction sun rises, he named that as Prachidik, east. Then he take another handful of water, offers it back, asks Agni to rise from south. Agni to arise, Agni arises from south. Then he does the same process, handful of water, and asks Vayu to come to existence, and he come from the west. Same thing with north, Indra, and he also offers water to the sky. Then he asks all the devatas to come into existence. When he is pouring up, when he pushed the water up, so there is some water droplets come out of the gaps of his hand. Those are all pisachas, rakshasas, and so on and so forth. All the evil demons, right? So then he pours water onto the water, and he says, Pushan to rise. That means earth to rise, like land mass of earth to rise. Till now, there is no land mass. It's all water. Land mass is inside the waters. I will show you the picture in a bit based on the Aruna Prashna mantras. So this is the bhumi for us, as per the Aruna Prashna. We will see some visuals, then we will understand it better. This is our cosmic fabric. This is how the universe is. It is always going like it's like a ocean. These are all the oceans. All the ones which are glittering, these are all either galaxies or stars. Okay. Now, what's the unique about our universe is it's like a fabric. That's called fabric, universal fabric, right? Narayana, by definition, is also Narayana is Naras, right? These are all the Naras. If you can imagine a cloth with wafts and weft, that's Narayana in a layman's language. I mean, it's a word to word translation. So look at, fortunately, somebody put these pictures. I mean, even scientists are also imagining a fabric like this. And this fabric is so flexible. If you put a weight, the fabric goes down. If you put more weight, it goes more down. So there will be more dip. So for example, in the right hand side, you see a smaller object has got smaller dip, larger object has got larger, and smallest has smallest, but it has got some dip. Okay. Now you see the earth and you see the moon. It never falls like this. It is on the ridge and it will not fall, but it rotates around the earth. We will see that in a minute. And a lot of us believe two-dimensional structure of the solar system. So if you can imagine, my hand is the solar disk and sun is here, then you will have a circle, concentric circles, elliptical circles if you call. Then you have got planets, you know, planets actually sitting on one of the elliptical orbits. But that is not the case. Planets are not moving the way we imagine in two-dimensional. If you can imagine, on the right hand side, the sun is here and earth is a small thing which is actually spiraling around the sun. So sun goes in straight line and earth is actually going around the sun. Okay, this is how actually earth is moving. So I know it is difficult to draw all the planets, but every planet, if you can imagine, it will be like that. Sun is going straight in the line and planets are going around it in concentric circles, not elliptical circles. Okay, now, so same thing, I gave you all this. So this is the Anuprachna mantras, Abhava Isamasan Salilameva Sampraja Padirekaha Paskara Panne Samabhavadu. So he is sleeping on the Pushkara Panne, means lotus leaves. Now, this is the evolution of various things from Salilam. So for Salilam, he saw Sarpandam. So it is going around, the turtle is actually going around, roaming around when Prajapati got up. So Prajapati, time-bound subset of Salilam. Then Rishis has come. So various Rishis came. That is a fundamental element. Then actually Aditya, Agni, Vayu, Indra, these are all four directions of Earth. Then Pushan came, the landmass has come, then the atmospheric layers has come, Devatas and Gandharvas and so forth. And then came the Manushya. If you see the Taittiriya Upanishad, then we have got the flow. Agasan, Vayu, Vayu, Agni, Agni, Apah, Apah, Prithvi, Prithvi, Oshadeha, Oshadeha, Bhyannam, Anna, and Purusha. So that is the cycle that it is described there. Very similar cycle here, but the thing is now here we are talking about the earth and evolution of earth, and we have got a different cycle here. Now, as I said, this is how actually the land mass has come. See, this is all water droplets. It formed over a period of time like 4.5 billion years of time and so forth. See, if you look at this picture has got land mass deep inside. Now, this is almost rising to the rising to the earth, rising to the top of the water, right? Now it is full-fledged Piligi. So super continent. It's one continent. Then it got split into 7 continents, or all the islands and things like that. So this is how the earth is formed. Now, that is not it. But so what exactly the story is telling me? What if I don't know the story? How this story is helping me in any way except the story's sake? That is my question. That's what I asked myself a question. I understand Prajapati is sleeping, turtle is roaming around in the inside the water, and they saw each other. They had a dialogue, and one requested the other to form the universe, and other formed the universe. But I have a problem in the story. Sun never rises. Even today, he never rises. Because of the motion of the earth, we believe that we believe that sun is actually rising. But that is not the truth. If that is not the truth, why Vedam says that as the truth, as if it is the truth? Sun rises in the east. It's a misnomer. Sun doesn't rises at all. So I interpreted this one in a different way. What I assumed is, okay, let me assume two observers. One observer is the Prajapati who is sitting one side of the earth, and another observer is me or me who is far away from earth, maybe somewhere in moon, today's moon. He is observing from the moon. Okay, so there are two observers. So what is the first observer doing? First observer is here. Hopefully you can see my mouse moving. So this is the northern side of the earth, and this is the southern side of the earth. Earlier, earth is actually moving this way. Means sun, earth is, south side of the sun is only exposed to the sun. South side of the earth is exposed to sun, but north side of the sun never exposed to the sun. To make it simple, we see today only one side of the moon. The other side of the moon we never see. That's where India actually sent, Bharat actually sent a satellite the other side of the moon to know what is their other side. So this is the same case once upon a time for the Mother Earth. Sun never saw the other. So if you are somewhere, hypothetically, if you are here, you never see other side of the earth. So this has happened for some billions of years. Then some event happened. You remember some event happened in one of the hypotheses even in this one. Some hypothesis happened. Yeah, an external event happened. People also thinking external event. I also thought an external event happened. What could that external event could have done? I imagine. So, for example, Earth is here, Sun is here at that time. Imagine there is another object passes by in this direction or in this direction, somewhere in between Earth and Sun. Okay, what does it mean? So every object, as I mentioned, every object will have some kind of mass, right? And this is our universe. So this is our Earth and this is our Sun. Imagine there is something goes in between these two. What will happen? There will be a dip here too because of that weight. When there is a dip, this will flow up, go up. And this also could go up. And there will be a turbulence between these three objects: Sun, the foreign object, and the Earth, right? Now bring back that argumentation here for sake. So, but the gravity is so, if it is a small object, either Earth will attract or Sun will attract or nothing will happen. Because if a small boat passes by a huge ship, the turbulence caused by a small boat doesn't affect the ship, right? But imagine two big ships goes around, then there will be a huge turbulence. But they are distant apart. If there are two boats, one big ship and a big boat, in between there is a foreign object goes, everything will be undergoing turbulence. That turbulence, hypothetically, I am imagining, gave this tilt, this north became here and south became here, and there is a spin. How did I imagine? I imagine based on the mantras. So now you imagine here this Prajapati is sitting doing nothing on the lotus leaf, and he never saw the sun. Now this turbulence happened. Now this guy went north and he has got a tilt, night tilt, and also a motion. Now imagine this is always, this is when this is north, this is east, right? Hypothetically think that this is started rotating this direction. So this is west, right? From the west, Earth is rotating to east like this. So this axis here tilted like this and also started rotating like this. Earlier, the axis is like this, it is rotating like this. Now this is spin like this, tilted like this and started spinning like this. So our Prajapati is here. Now Prajapati went up. Now Prajapati went not only up, but also started seeing the entire thing. Then the first time when the west to east he is looking at, when he is moving from west to east, he saw the sun for the first time. So that's why it is called east, sunrises. He saw the sun, that became the sun. Now, from where did the Vayu came? Vayu came from west to east. So Vayu came from west. Then so-called whatever is exposed, the south is exposed. No atmosphere. It is completely poison, very hot, because there is no atmosphere side, a direct sun. This is extremely hot, this portion. So that portion now went tilted this way. Now the south, whatever we call, and this is Agni. And whatever is unexposed, the sun, it's completely cold, like Arctic today, right? It's ice. Now that tilted like this, that is Indra. Is Indra cold? I don't know Indra is cold or not, but Indra has to be cold. This may one of the meaning of Indra, got to be cold, or snow, or some kind of coldness. So with that interpretation, now we have got a full-fledged hypothesis. Now, okay, this is not it. So where did we have to have the atmosphere also, land mass also to come in, right? Land mass actually inside with this turbulence, the land mass emerged up. Imagine you have got some solid and you stirring, that solids come up because there is a downward thrust. Upward thrust from the bottom, right? So that all these particles has come in, that's land mass has come in. Land mass today is still floating. All whatever land mass we are seeing, it is still floating on waters. Okay, so land mass, as I shown in this picture, from here it came here. Okay, so that's my image. That's my interpretation. I imagined two observers here. So one observer is looking at it. Okay, that the earth is tilted, that is moving. That is me, and the Prajapati who actually experienced the directions. He experienced a direction when it started spinning from west to east. He saw the first day sun. Then he said, okay, sun got up, the way we are thinking today. And so on and so forth. I hope you got some idea. And if you read my book, you will have more information. Now, I have one question here. Now the atmosphere, okay, when the land mass actually emerged from waters, then were huge collapses, huge volcanic eruptions that actually formed the atmosphere, dark. So this story is actually the Shivaratri story is also part of it. See, the Sagaramadana and so on and so forth, we are talking about it. Basically, this is the turbulence. That Sagaramadana is nothing but, Merumadana is nothing but the turbulence from which volcanoes erupted, poisonous gases come in. And Lord Shiva is basically nothing but an imaginary figure where we have got he captured all the ozone, which is blue in color, by the way. If it's blue in color, he captured it. It is not disappearing from all the atmospheric layers, nor it is sitting on the earth. It is right in the atmosphere. One of the atmosphere, it is stuck in the one atmospheric layers, that is ozone layer. You read my book. I know you may imagine I'm telling a story, but I have got a lot of evidences in my book including the formulas and the polarities of water molecules, and how actually ozone forms and forms in the winters and evaporates in the sun. All the scientific papers are there. It's somebody from the NASA actually wrote the paper. So I encourage all of you to read the book, and you will get all the idea. So basically, coming back to the story, so all this Sagaramadana is trying to explain the dynamics of the Sagaramadana, this turbulence. From the turbulence, we formed. It's overnight, nothing happened. It took millions of years, or maybe 500 million years, to form the atmosphere. Okay, so we call yugas and yugas, right? That is what it is. So anyway, so basically, the atmospheric layers formed that way. Some of the heat on Earth, so that it won't freeze, we don't die. Some of the layers actually went all the way and formed all the layers. And in the Vayu Mandala, I gave you a detailed picture of Vayu Mandala, what are all the layers. And today, how we identified stratosphere, ionosphere, all that spheres, versus what Veda says about all these spheres. The last question, I think I am at 50. Maybe I'll take another 5 minutes to explain this a little bit more. Now, I see ours is the only religion, if not any other religion, I do not know, who worship directions. If you see Mahanyasam is actually you worship on the directions. So every direction, I mean, we have got, if you have an elaborate Mahanyasam, then you say in the same direction you have got Indra and other devatas, and so on and so forth for every direction. So it is a multi-concentric circles where these are all the palakas are here, spherical, right? However, why do you worship direction? What is it to do with anything? That's because now imagine this is a system A on the left hand side. You see a system B on the right hand side, right? When a system goes from A to B, there is also a chance that system B can go back to system A. Once that system, when another turbulence happens and everything comes back to the original position, we all die. Nothing exists. That's called pralaya. Hopefully, I mean, I don't know this pralaya is akin to whatever pralaya that Veda says, but this is definitely a pralaya. Okay, so we don't want that to happen. So that's why we worship even directions also. And now our ancestors, our rishis, maharishis, made a phenomenal study on these directions, and they made the Jyotish Shastra. So the entire astrology is based on the planetary motion, and they said they are there for a reason, and they formed this Jyotish Shastra very beautifully. And if you read the Jyotish Shastra, you'll appreciate more and more of on these Veda mantras. You will have a different perspective. Your perception will change on the Veda mantras. So, sir, that is where we are standing at 9:50, 8:53 my time. So if I have time, I can go through few more slides on another topic. Otherwise, I can stop here and I can answer
No,
questions.
you have half an hour time now.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
We are at
Oh,
7:20 right now in our Indian time.
Okay.
So up to 7:50 you can talk. So you have
Okay.
half an hour time.
Perfect. Okay. Then I will talk. I'll try to cover another topic, time, space, time, continuum, right? That's what Einstein said. So before we delve in, I would like to bring all of you to understand what is time and what is space and what is space-time. So time in modern science, we have got cesium atom 133 isotope, right? At the ground state, it has got a frequency of transition that one 10 billionth of the transition is called 1 second. That is how the SI system measures. Okay. Hello, can somebody go on mute, please? Then the same similar approach. Now here the topic for me, my framework doesn't, stand the same. So I have got time and gravity topic now. I have to study what is time in modern times, and I have to study what is gravity as much as I can. Then I have to see other shastras of ancient shastras and see who talked about what on Veda mantra. About the time. Then we have got, if we come to science, we have got two kinds of sciences, right? One is Newtonian gravity science. The other one is Einstein gravity science. Newton imagined that everything falls perpendicular to the Earth, and he measured with the experiments. It's 9.8 millimeters per second, more or less. Then Einstein came and he said, and he imagined Earth has got some power. That's why it is pulling. Then, but Einstein, even during the Newtonian era itself, Newton did not answer a lot of questions. For example, he could not answer why Mars is behaving weird compared to other planets. So there are unanswered questions, but most practical purposes, Newtonian gravity works everywhere on Earth. Now Einstein came. Einstein said, Earth doesn't have any powers. It doesn't pull anything. Objects are falling perpendicular to Earth not because Earth has got some powers. It's because of the nature of the universe. Then people looked at him. They thought he's mad. He's a weird person. He's a crazy person. Hallucination. But eventually, everyone agreed what he's saying is right. And Newtonian gravity has limitations. So he says gravity is a consequence of uneven distribution of mass and energy in space. So he said mass and energy is not two different things. Everything is energy. Mass is also a form of energy, a state of energy. Then scholars again pond upon this topic, and so many scholars actually worked on it. Then he said space is like a fabric that holds cosmic objects. In our Shastra, Akasha, Avakasat is the Akasha. Its very definition is very same. Okay, then heavier objects pull more deeper into the fabric than the lighter objects. We saw already earlier, right? Then the space-time fabric is constantly changing due to continuous motion of matter and energy in the universe. See, this is where we have to spend good time. Why? Because every object in the universe is moving. Every object. Unfortunately, more interestingly, it is they are not only moving, but they are also moving away from each other. It is like, imagine like, you have a can, sealed can, a glass can, and you put popcorn, and you put you put it on a stove. Then everything will pop up. There is no attraction anymore. Everything moves away from each other. So some scientists actually mentioned this analogy to tell everything is moving away from each other. Okay, now physicist Wheeler said matter tells. Yeah, this is very very precisely put. Matter tells space-time how to curve. Space-time tells matter how to curve, how to move. So imagine you have a fabric, a cloth, and you throw a ball. So when the ball is moving, cloth gives you a curved shape so that ball can move. Based on the weight of the ball, the curvature varies. So mass tells the curvature how much to curve. The curvature actually gives a path for the ball to move. That's what he said. Same thing is happening all the cosmic objects in the space. So same objects I put it together for convenience. Now, what I said is really there or not? That's question you may be asking yourself, right? So now we will go to the mantras. So when we went to the Anuvaka 8, Kvedama Brahmni Veshate, Kwaigam Samvadzaro Mitaha, Kwaha Kwayam Devanantri Kamasa Rutavasrita Ardhamasa Muhurta Nimesha Strude Bhisaha Kwema Abo Nivishante Yadito Yanti Samprati. So these are all the questions. Kvedam Abram Kveda Abram Nivishate. Abram means full of cloud with water. Watery clouds are called Abram. Up, the root word is up, right? Kvedam Abram is a question. Where are these watery clouds are residing? That's the first question. That's how the Anuvaka starts. Then they said, Kwayagam Sambansarobitaha. Then they asked one after the other. Where is the units of time such as day, time, day, night, fortnight, month, seasons, and year, etc. reside? Where are these water-bearing clouds are residing? Where are the water sometimes go? So they saw clouds, sometimes they see it vanishing, sometimes they are there. Then the fundamental question is, they asked about the waters and the units of time. The question is, what is the time now? It's not what is the time now or how much time it takes. Okay, when can you come? These are all time related questions. But this question, I never heard a question where the units reside. I never came across this particular sentence. Only in the Aruna Prashna. They asked, where are these waters? Where are these times residing? Then, very nice. So, here this guy is Vatsa Mahamuni. Vatsa Mahamuni with his disciples, he discussed this one and he said, guys, listen up. Kala apsunibisante kalaha. That visarga will go because ah is the swara came, but so kalaha apsunibisante. All the time units reside in apaha, right? Apsu means it is a singular saptama plural of the saptami vibhakti, because it is nitya bahuvachanam. Apsu is apaha is nitya bahuvachanam, so it's apsu means saptami bahuvachanam. All the time units reside the apaha. Water resides inside the sunrays. Water evaporates by sunrays forming the clouds. The lightning resides inside the suns. It looks very poetic, but it is extremely scientific, very deep in science. Now, what does it mean by water resides in sunrays? It resides in sunrays because of the heat, it evaporates. If heat is gone, it doesn't even evaporate. And soon after it is cold, it comes back. So if it is holding means it is having some temperature and pressure. With that pressure and temperature, the cloud is in the place where it is. So that's why he said, because the Karta Karma Kriya as the sun, then he said it is residing inside their sunrise. And also he explains water evaporated by sunrays forming clouds. And there is a lightning also inside the sunrays. When it comes, it is hibernated. When it comes, okay, that when I say lightning resides, it is the charge, either positive charge or the negative charge. When it comes down, when the opposite charge cloud comes in, then you will form a lightning. So that's what it is. Then comes in. So let's see what is the traditional interpretation, how actually they envision versus how I envision. So consider Earth is rotating, revolving, and water cycle, right? So there is, for every year, every Sankranti, every Makara Sankranti, year closes, right? And the cycle closes. But season starts at the same time. Chaitra Shuddhami, Chaitra Shuddha Parjami, then Chaitra Masam starts. And the cycle goes on. So there is a rhythm with in every year based on the cycles. Now rotation gives gives you day, 24 hours. That's Earth spin around itself, and 365 days around the sun. Then rotation gives the day and subunits of day. Revolution gives the months and seasons of the year. Since seasonal time changes observed through clouds, very important. And it is not my hypothesis. In the Aruna Prashna, they gave the whole cycle of all the 6 Rutus and their properties around the year. So that means they already observed all the properties of the Rutus. Okay. So with that observation, actually, they imagine, okay, everything is around the clouds. Every season, the clouds changes. The formation of the cloud changes. The water levels are changing. Sometimes there will be clouds. There is no water at all, and all this, so on and so forth. Then, since the clouds are formed by evaporation of water by the sun rays, Rishis concluded the water that disappears resides inside the sun. In addition, Aruna also mentioned lightning is due to sun rays. Okay, yeah, these are other mantras. Now, this is the one which we spent some time. So on the right hand side, you have a graph. So in space time, like in the bottom right corner, you see the space time. You already know the space time, right? Things are moving, but there is a limitation on the speed of the cosmic objects can move on in the space. So that limitation is speed of light. Nothing can go faster than light. If something can go faster than light, that means he is exceeding the this is violating the principles of time. Okay, you will have a negative time. So that can never ever happen, right? Only in the poetic ways and in fictional movies only can happen. I will never get it yesterday tomorrow, right? So speed of light. So here in this is a 3-dimensional. In the box in the right bottom, you have got a box. 2 dots are there. This is a 3-dimensional view or 3-dimensional identification of the dots or identification of the dots, right? But whereas in time and space, so all these 3-dimensional, imagine that just on one axis, and time, the 4th dimension on y-axis. So if I imagine 2 points at t1 and t2, t1 will have x1, y1, z1 and t1, x1, y2, z2 and t2. So even though it has got 4 dimensions, ideally it's only 2 dimensions. 1 dimension is complete space, 1 dimension is complete time. Now, imagine now we cannot move horizontally on x-axis. Why? Because we cannot move only in space without time. That's the bottom line. So if you move in space from one point to another point, you have to consume some time. You in no time you cannot go from A to B. That's not, yeah, that's a violation. So that's why all this is dashed out. And only travel happen in the left hand side above the speed of light axis. Okay. Now, very slowly we'll read this one because this is very important concept. The general meaning apaha is water. However, it is not very practical to find or observe time in our backyard swimming pools, ponds in our villages, in holy rivers, or in deep oceans. Why I'm saying it's not a sarcastic statement. Kala apsinivasante. If you literally take Kala apsinivasante, time resides in waters. If you really think water, the drinking water, river water, or this thing, if you jump and dive, will you get a time there? Will you find time there? Absolutely not. Don't even try there. You cannot find time there, right? So what it is, what does it mean? So to understand, I made all these cases. If Apsu is the time space, then I will say myself, I find myself with a time in space. The other meaning is antariksham. Antariksham. Antariksham means which has got several other synonyms as per Yakshanirtam, the one that relates to the discourses. Okay. Akasham, the one that provides the opportunity for object to stay. That is called Akasham. Ambaram. Ambaram means one warps or wraps around an object. Brahmana Udaranamasi, Brahmana Udiranamasi. See, that mantra is very beautiful, but the thing is, this is what exactly the wrapping nature of time space is talking about. So, if an object is there in space, Akashas actually warps around the object. Okay, but anyway, we will come there later. Samudram. Samudram is the one which flows upwards, as we see in the oceanic verse. Sam means bhavaga, ut means up, dra means flows, right? So all these emphasis that apaha is a space-time gravity as mentioned by Kala Absinibishanta really means that time resides in space-time. That is what it is. And they are not inseparable. The problem is you cannot, so for example, you cannot travel in time alone without making any progress. Imagine you are traveling in a direction for one day and you did not make any progress. That cannot happen. If you make a step, you made a progress and you have a time. So if you imagine this whole cosmos, then you move objects from one place to the other, but you cannot move on our cement roads, that roads we have today, because it's space-time and you have mass, and space-time is a fabric. When you move based on your weight, it will bend for you and bends, and it makes a curve for you. Through the curve only you will travel. That's what the Wheeler guy said. Okay, so that is what this one is. Then we will go back to the other mantras and see whether I'm right or wrong. My hypothesis still holds true or not. Anavarne me bhumi iyam jasau jarodasi. Earth and sky are beautiful. This is how the dialogue starts. Then it goes Suya vasane ijau jasau rodasi. Okay. Kiggusvitantrata bhutam yene me vidrude bhubhe Vishnuna budrude bhumi iti vansan javedana. Vedana means I experience. Manovedana. Manovedana means my heart is actually experiencing something. So vatsa vedana means vatsa actually experienced this whatever he is saying today. So what he's saying is, what then they ask the follow-up questions. What is that holding earth and sky together? What is in between earth and heaven? These are the questions they asked at that time. Then Vatsamuni said, with his experience, Vedana states that Vishnu is the one holding earth and sky. So all the Sri Vaishnavas take credits the Lord that they are worshipping. Oh, Vishnu is doing it. But just hold on a second. Vishnu Murti is more than what we are worshipping. That's my case. Vishnu, with his all-pervading nature, by definition of Vishnu, is in between earth and sun. Earth and sky together, providing food and medicine for all beings. Vishnu holds the earth and sky together strongly with his threads like rays from all sides. So now imagine, now this right hand side is the modern day picture for the gravity. See all this. Now imagine this is space time here, right? No, not here. Here you have got this Naras, right? So same Naras has come in one color this time. These are all pushing influencing. These are all warping the object in space. So this three-dimensional grid gives a better idea of what curved space-time might look like than two-dimensional analogies do. So this is two-dimensional analogy. This is two-dimensional analogy. This is three-dimensional analogy. Because here there is no above. Above is not, if above there is nothing. There is nothing called nothing in space. Everything is space. So when I say nothing is nothing, so around this, everywhere there are Naras. So that is Vishnu. Vishnu is not holding with two hands. He's actually holding all over. Okay, like a baby in a womb, right? So so this is, I hope you get an idea on what this Lord Vishnu is actually doing. And Vishnu is the word, or a Sanskrit word, or a Vedic mantra is actually holding the earth and sun, right? That's gravity. This gravity is actually, which is nothing but a consequence of space-time, consequence of curvature nature of the space-time, holding the objects together. Okay. Now, then they ask follow-up questions. They appreciated Vatsamuni and they asked follow-up questions. They asked, from where does Vishnu gets his strength to hold earth and sky? If you imagine he is a man, or if you say imagine energy, where is that energy coming from? Okay, as per the ancestors. Here, Vishnu, Vatsamanaha Mohani did not say Vedana. It's not his experience. He took it from he quoted from what he learned from others, right? So what I'm trying to hear, what the emphasis I would like to do is, whatever he is telling is already there. That means it is already documented somewhere, which I do not know, at least. Maybe scholars know. But we have to figure out how old that particular thing is and how much science that has, right? So he says ancestors, Vishnu's strength and capacity hold the earth and sky in place comes from Vataha, Vayu. Vahati iti Vataha, Vahati iti Vayuhu. So Vahati means it takes something from one place or one system or one generation to the next generation. One place to the another place, one system to the other system. That's why Vaduhu, Vahati idi Vaduhu. Same thing is Vataha. Same, both are the same thing, but they do different things. Vaduhu means it takes one generation of values to the next generation by progeny. So that's okay. That's a different thing, but definition is the same thing. Now, from where does this rays of light that Vishnu uses to hold this universe? Again, they asked. I agree. You have got space-time, the what you call fabric nature, where if you put a ball and it will rolls. I agree. Okay, that's because of the Vataha. Okay, we agree. This is uneven distribution of mass and energy that's from the fabric space-time. I agree. But they asked, where does the rays of light Vishnu uses to hold universe comes from? Very important question. As per the ancestors, again, this is not his knowledge. He gained knowledge. It's not experience. His knowledge from somebody else, transferred from somebody else. It is indestructible rays. Very important. That Vishnu possesses lights up the entire universe. He said indestructible rays. There are rays that they are not. So, for example, gamma rays, X-rays, and all. You cannot do anything with it. It's high penetration values, except the polarity, because they have got charge. We can divert, right? So these gamma rays and all. So he says that energy cannot be lost. It can transform from one form to the other, but it can never be lost. That's why when he said indestructible rays, that means the energy where the rays actually flowing in the in the space, right? That is uneven distribution of mass and energy. Some galaxy will collapse today, and that passes a ripple, and that energy passes down to space. Then new universe gets created that sucks a lot of energy from the universe because of the gravity, and that causes turbulence in space-time. So this space-time is completely turbulences, like oceanic waves. Then the last question, he says, okay, that's good. If anything to happen, one person cannot do everything. Like our VSS, right? We are together, we are trying to do something. Same thing with Vishnu. They asked, I know Vishnu is great, but who are the helpers for him? He says very precisely, various Agnis such as Arunaketaka Agni and their associated Vayu friends are Vishnu's helpers. So earlier, maybe I think 60, 70 years ago, or whenever, I think 70 years ago, people thought there is no temperature is 0 Kelvin on the space. But later we realized space is not 0 Kelvin, it is 3 degrees Kelvin. So space has got some temperature. Based on the temperature, based on the radiations in the space, we are able to measure the age of the universe. So those rays are available, indestructible, they cannot go anywhere. It will be somehow it is consumed in the universe or it's going around the universe. The Vayu, that energy is actually producing the ripples, and those two are the helpers of the Vishnu, the gravity. So to me, whatever he mentioned Vishnu here is actual gravity. Precise name is gravity. For modern science, in this context, Vishnu has got so many things. We are not going there for this class. So that is it now. Now I'm trying to correlate these two things. Vishnu, the gravity is holding the earth and heaven, the clouds and all atmospheric layers at the atmospheric level. Then earth and heavens in place using Mayukaihi. Mayukaihi. So Abhitaha means all sides. So very important mantra. I think there is some mantra here. Abhitaha Mayukaihi. Somewhere it will be there. Somewhere it will be there. It's in the same Anuvaka. So Abhitaha. So it is from the all sides. I put the arrow points also. Mayukaihi means these threads like things are Mayukaihi. Abhitaha means all sides. It's pervading from all sides. Then Vishnu strengths from Vataha. Vahati iti Vataha, which means that which moves or transport. So Vataha could refer to the ripples caused as cosmic objects move into the space fabric. In other words, the strength comes from a medium with the peaks and troughs or a wave hold the whole creation. Various Agnis and Vayus supports Vishnu could be various quantum fields, space-time fabrics, or yet to be known quantum force fields that are working together to produce a gravitational effects as we observe. Time, Kala, Absinibishan, they describe the time component of space-time, and gravity, the Vishnu, describe the warping nature of space-time. Together, they are describing the nature of space-time. So now also arrow pointed out, this is all Apsu, and these are all the toughs and peaks, the movement is nothing but the Vataha. See now if you look at this pointing arrow, it's going down, it's coming up. So that's where I stand. And why am I doing all this?
I think, sorry, sir. Yeah.
1 minute, sir. One more
Right,
slide.
right. Go ahead.
Yeah. So this is the conclusion why, see, my intention of exploring and educating, popularizing, I'm not saying popularizing is a bad word, but I'm trying to share whatever I explored. Because of this, we have got Veda Vakyas, we have got Mahavakyas for every Veda, right? Rig Veda has Prajnanam Brahma. Yam Yajurveda is Aham Brahmosmi. Tattvamasi is a Samavedam. Ayamatma Brahma is Atharvana Vedam. But elaborate commentary has been written by so many thousands of saints, scholars, Shankaracharyas. Every Shankaracharya, of course, written some commentary on some of these Vedas and Upanishads and all that stuff. But they're only writing same thing but differently. But what I'm saying is, on the similar lines, we have to have a school of thought or a group of people or some university where they will analyze what exactly meant by Kala Absinivishante, like Mahavakya. Vatad Vishnur Balamahuhu, Agne Vayavaschaiva, Etadasya Parayanam, What are all these really meant? I urge all the scholars to put some thought on this. You can prove me wrong, but you have to prove your other hypothesis also right. You have to do both. Traditional meaning. I'm not debating on that, because today we are sitting in 2025. We know a lot of stuff, but when my son asks me questions in Vedas, I cannot answer. I cannot give a convincing answer. Why? Because we are not thinking. We stopped thinking. And Shainacharya put a Lakshmana Gita, and we are not able to cross more than that. I respect Shainacharya. I read Shainacharya book, 900 pages. It took 2 years for me to understand what he's saying. And on top of it, I'm confident that we have to explore it further, because Shainacharya at that time did whatever he could. Unfinished business that we have to take care. Okay. So this is this is what I would like to see. We would like to have Veda Pandits, Sanskrit Pandits, and scientists should sit to come together and analyze one verse by verse like a Mahavakya. See, Kala Apsani Visante can be done only certain. So in Veda Pandit can be one person who can dictate, who can be working with so many scientists. And Sanskrit scholars could be more than one person, because analytical skills are different from person to person. But Veda Pandits are Veda Pandits. There is no comparison. We cannot replace them, right? So Veda Mantra, Veda Pandit, Samskrita Pandits, and so many scientists, because every line in Aruna Prasna or any Veda Mantra talks about a different topic, and one person cannot have all the knowledge in the universe, which is known and unknown. So that's why I would like to have have a group of scholars with individual knowledge might, and they contribute this. So with that, I conclude and open floor for questions.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sataram Garu, for the very, very involving, and I think people have got immersed in the entire lecture that you have gone through, taken us through the universe. And I hope after the pradhana, if you permit, we
Sure.
normally close the pradhana at 8 o'clock. So after the pradhana, we take up the questions, if you permit.
Sure. Sure, sir. Sure. I'm available. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
So, Lakshmi Garu, can you?
Yes, sir. Can you see me, sir? Hello. Am I visible?
Just a minute. Sitaram Garu, sharing తీసేస్తారు.
అది నాకు తెలియటం లేదు, ఇది కొత్త పీసీ ఇది. సో
No, don't worry.
It's okay. It's okay, sir. I think I'm visible, I suppose.
Right, you are visible. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yes. Swasti prajabhyah paripalayantam न्यायेन मार्गेण महीमहीषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितो ब्राह्मणः सन्तु निर्भयाः अपुत्राः पुत्रिणः सन्तु पौत्रिणः अधनाः सधनाः सन्तु जीवन्तु शरदां शतम् सत्यं वद धर्मं चर स्वाध्यायान् मा प्रमदः सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सर्वे जनाः सुखिनो भवन्तु स्वस्ति.
ధన్యవాదాలండి లక్ష్మి గారు for the next ప్రార్థన.
నమస్కారం.
Raise for the national anthem.
Yeah.
Please. Just a minute. Just a minute. जनगणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे जय हिंद जय हिंद. I think this lecture has really taken the country great pride and proud to see such a great lecture. And now we take the questions one by one. Just a minute. There are a lot of questions which are coming and people I think are gearing up with. I think before we start the questions, our co-coordinator, Lalita Garu, she wants to talk on the book. Lalita
Yeah.
Garu.
సీతారాం గారు జై
నమస్కారం
శ్రీరామ్.
అండి. నమస్కారం.
ఎలా ఉన్నారు?
బాగున్నామండి. బాగున్నాం. చాలా కాలం
బాగున్నారా?
Please go through the.
See, actually, Sitaram garu, yesterday only Colonel night he messaged me that it was your session. I know it was your session, but he said it's going to be your session. So I was very happy that we are again meeting here in this platform. What I would like to tell about the book and Sitaram garu is actually, he has done such a wide research and he has brought this book out with his experience on Krishna Yajurvedam and Aranyakam, as Karnalji was saying. And actually, Veda Samskruti Samiti was really privileged or blessed to be part of the release process where we all could arrange the book release functions in various places across the country, I can say, in Delhi, in Banaras Hindu University, and also in Tirupati, in 5 places we did it. And I think even in Sringeri Math also he went personally and he released the book. And also in Veda Pathshala in Bangalore. All these places across the country, they visited as a family and they did the book release function. And all the university professors, I can say about the National Sanskrit University and also the SV, Sri Venkateshwara Vedic University, SV Vedic College, many universities in Tirupati also, they acknowledged Sitaram Ayyagari's work, the research work. And they appreciated, and it was all well received by all the scholars, I can say, where, in SV Vedic University, 70 scholars were present, who all are thorough with Krishna Yajurveda. And the registrar and all the scholars who were present there, they were able to just the gravity of his research and what all he has brought out in this Aruna Prasna book. And many people also have purchased the book also through Veda Samskruti Samiti. And this book was also released by Samaveda Shanmukha Sharma Garu in US, in Houston of the house of Sitaram Ayyagari, because he is a regular visitor in US to Sitaram Ayyagari's place. That means, it shows his network and his the importance of this book and his research. what he has contributed to our Krishna Yajurveda and to our Vedas literature also. So with these words, I can say that we have many of these books available with us. Whoever is interested, we can talk to Karnalji also and Akala Prabhakar Mahodaya. And these books are right now available with me. So once whoever is interested, they can also approach Veda Samskruti Samiti, and through me, you can also get the books once we get the instructions. And now again, I like to thank Sitaram Garu for his very vivid explanation of Krishna Yajurveda. And this is being my sixth time I've heard his lecture also. I feel, more and more, so much he has added more to it. This is really a very wonderful lecture, as usual, Sitaram Garu. We thank you once again on behalf of Veda Samskruti Samiti, and of course our course academic director, administrative director, and of course Akala Hema Khan Prabhakar Rao Garu, our patron and founder of Veda Samskruti Samiti, as usual. And now about the book, anybody who wants to approach, you can all talk to Karnal Garu, and through me you can get the book also. Okay. And I thank you again, and we'll go for the question answer session, Sitaram Garu.
Thank you so much.
Yes. We can again be in touch over the mail or whatever.
Sure.
Thank you again.
Thank you, Lalita Garu. And now we go through the questions. The first question is, which is the first avataram, Matsya or Varaha?
Matsya Avatar.
Yeah, Matsya avatar. Okay. Yes. So the next question is, why does Makar Sankranti fall on the same day of the English calendar every year? Does that mean English calendar is derived from Indian texts? If please connect the dots.
I do not know whether they're independently developed or they just borrowed it from us and took another one. But it is not borrowed from us because in English calendar, when it is evolved, when they observed the seasons, they lost 10 days. So then they said something went wrong. That's why if you calculate English calendar just not by adjusting the dates, you will see all the numbers jumbled up. English calendar is corrected, I think, 4 times if I'm not wrong. So they vanished. They removed 10 days. So from 1 month, then they removed 1 day from another month, another year, and so on and so forth. But whereas we have got the correction mechanism for as a leap year, we discovered we have got connected the millennium year like for 100 years and 400 years. So these are all calculated, and our calculations is so strong. If you really observe, every 19th birthday, of every individual will have the same day of the month, week of the month, birth star, and Tithi. So it is calculated to that particular point. So the cycle is actually 19-year cycle, and it is discovered I think a few decades ago, unfortunately by Westerners. So I'm talking to Raj Vedam. He said, okay, somebody discovered like this recently. He said, our ancestors know this long time ago, and I added all the value, all the knowledge that I have on the astrology and the numbers. So yes, it is not borrowed, because if it is borrowed, what happens is it is like a DNA, right? They take it ours and they kill us. It happened with so many sciences that we had. But unfortunately, this one they cannot kill because they themselves killed some of the days in the calendar. So
Okay.
I think it is independently developed, and it developed wrong.
Okay, thank you. And when you said 19 years, this 19 number, I don't know whether it's a coincidence or incidence. When we calculate the chart datum of when we measure the ocean depths, there's a chart datum, 0 level. That 0 level is arrived after observing certain parameters for 19 years. I don't know whether these two are correlated or not, It is 19
Maybe,
specified.
maybe
Yeah,
it does. Maybe it
right,
does.
right. So, okay, Srihari Garu.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Morning.
Really,
Good evening.
your lecture today is very excellent, and we are blessed today to have your lecture today, sir. Sir, two questions I stuck up in our discussion today with you.
Uh-huh.
So one is actually uh, the Shashtagraha Kotami. If it is happened, it is natural in the celestial system. It happens like that. And you told that space fabric that gets disturbed if some a foreign object comes in between, it gets disturbed. So one foreign object comes, it gets disturbed, and if there are so many objects in between, definitely the turbulence will happen, and thereby these celestial bodies get the pressure because of the turbulence, right, sir? Basing
Yes.
on the celestial body like our Earth, if that we are on the Earth, so we will get the turbulence. So that effect will be more on us also because of the so many objects in between.
Correct.
So some people, as per the astrology, the people say when this Ashtagraha Kotami comes, some people will have the good effect, some people will have the bad effects like that, they will say. But
Correct.
in principle, if you see any turbulence, definitely it will give the pressure and will give the bad effect only, for all the people.
It depends on, you see, okay, this is where things gets interesting. That's a very interesting question. We have our brains, right?
Yeah.
Brain will have a frequency.
Correct.
It will vibrate, right?
Correct.
For yogis, this frequency is very, very less. They just almost kill it. Like it's static.
Huh.
That's why they can observe future, past, and present. We cannot observe because ours is fluctuating. More fluctuations, right? Less information you can. It's like you are moving in a fast car, right? I mean, car is in high speeds, and you don't observe what's happening around because you go so fast, right? And all the nuances happening around, you may not be able to observe. Same thing with this brain. Now, your brain frequency also depends on the turbulences. That's what somebody started researching, but he could not finish. So I cannot conclude anything. All I'm trying to say is these turbulences influence your brain. So
Right.
some people which as crazy people to start with, they will become more crazy. Some people with lot of control like Siddhendra Yogi, Siddhendra Saraswati,
Yeah.
they will gain more and more power. So that's where definitely. So to answer your point, there is an influence. How it affects, it depends on your sadhana, where you are on the sadhana cycle.
That means that in this case, astrology will not give the correct picture because you are telling whenever the people are in the yogic way, they can change their the effects, either bad effects. If the body, if the people like me, it cannot change because I'm not a yogi and I cannot rishi like that. So
Correct.
it affects mentally. And people say that today it will be good for you, and if that happens, it will bad, very bad, and it may go to the this marka. Like that, some people will say in the astrology, sir. So
Correct.
that happens naturally. It is happening. You are telling that mentally it gets disturbed because of the turbulences, because only
No,
people
no,
are in the yogi level.
okay. Hold on a second. I just mentioned one aspect of the effects.
Correct.
I'm not talking about all the aspects of the effects.
Correct.
I only just said this is one that I know. But astrologically, it is already prefixed. Because our yogis knows all this, right? The astrology is so tightly integrated.
Correct.
Why it fails? Sometimes it fails. My Guruji says something, it doesn't happen. Okay, it doesn't happen because my Guruji did not put as enough effort because I'm irritating him. I'm keep on asking so that I will hear an answer in my favor. Okay, so if I already have got a preset of mind, my Guru will tell what I would like to listen. But regardless of Guru and who is asking questions, this is fixed. It bound to happen. So it
She
bound to
has
happen.
seen already. Yeah.
Yeah, they are running an a rhythmic pattern that happens. Now, this solar system is fixed. Now imagine there is a huge planet called something like Venus is coming in between Earth and Sun. Then that turbulence will bounce our both Earth and Sun just out of our orbits.
Because of that
If
mass.
you look at why, I mean, you see, this is very, very clearly explained, but we just never explored. If you look at the Hiranyaksha story, that's what happened. He is the full gravity, right? Imagine that's the foreign object. Hiranyaksha is the Hiranyaksha, I think. Hiranyaksha is the foreign object which is coming in between Earth and Sun, and he has got very heavy object. And if you read the story of Hiranyaksha, he very cleverly mentioned like it's the cloud and dark cloud and mass and all that stuff in one of the Puranas, right? And this fight between Kurmavatara and Hiranyaksha does not happen just like that. It happened for quite some time. They fought very well. So he put Earth out of the orbit. Then Vishnumurti brought it back. So what is Vishnumurti there? Sun's gravity pulled back the Earth's orbit, pulled Earth back into its orbit. So that's the story. That's what my observation with these Veda mantras as well. So that's how I interpret these stories and the Veda mantras. Because a story is a story. Today I can write maybe a better story with with my knowledge and with all the generative AI, Chat GPT. But that might not have any sense or any other scientific values inside. And I believe these all the stories that we have, it has got a significance, universal evaluation stuff. It is not comic stories. It's not mythology. It's full of science. It's trying to tell something, and we are missing it. That's my that's my Vedam.
It is an inner meaning, definitely. The people like you are bringing out that one. So definitely that inner meaning is good. Sir, one more point, a small point, sorry. One more point
brief,
is...
Sriyar Garu.
Yeah. Shall I close?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. One point, sir, that direction you are telling, direction if you take in some dimensions, like 3 dimensions, if you say that east can be in this side. If you take one more dimension there, the people say there are 13 dimensions to any like that, that people are telling.
11 dimensions.
Yeah. If you take some other dimensions like time also, if you take the direction, it cannot be a fixed one. We cannot say east is east. So because it is moving with the time, and so the east also gets moved, no? So directions we cannot say, and like that, in the direction that Indra is sitting here and west is Aruna, like that, some people will say. So that is fixed like that, no? So these directions will change and their positions also will get changed, you know, sir. If you take time also dimension and some other dimension, if you take, something will happen.
No. That's why reference frameworks are there, no? You are right, but there are reference frameworks, no? That's what Einstein actually came up with. So what he did is, if you put a time, everything is a variable. You cannot fix on anything.
Correct.
So that's why he came up with the reference frameworks. So when the reference frameworks came, you fixed Dhruva Nakshatra. I mean, I don't know much of astrology the way Raj Vedam knows, but we have got Dhruva Nakshatra, right? Dhruva Nakshatra to this another Nakshatra is our axis. That's our frame of reference. With that reference, east is always when we raise what sun raises for us.
So there we are taking only some dimensions, not all dimensions.
The difference framework, the references, yes.
Yeah.
But if you see somewhere in some other universe, like for example, some other galaxy, things could be different. I know that's difficult. That's difficult to say. For that point, if you go out of Earth, there are no dimensions. Its own dimensions is only when people are sitting on Earth.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Why time dimension? If you go out of Earth, there's no dimension as such.
No dimension.
There's no direction.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Pantul Garu.
Namaskar, Sitaram ji.
Namaskar.
They've had very beautiful lecture, sir. I pray Almighty to give you more energy and courage to put on more research work on this Vedas and pass on to the new generation. Sir,
Sure, sir. Thank
if I understood properly in the beginning of the session, you told that the Brahma, the Prajapati has took water and created earth. Like that.
No, Prajapati did not do. Prajapati requested the what is that? Almighty, what is it? Mahapurusha to do it. Prajapati is an observer. He just sleeping on the lotus leaf, and he wanted to do, and turtle is already there. So before his creation, turtle is already there. Then he asked the turtle, "How come you are here? I did not start my creation yet." Then turtle said, "I am already. I am here all the time." Then Prajapati realized, oh, he is nothing but Sahasraksha Sahasrapat Almighty, and he requested him to create the universe. Is actually the Prajapati did not create. The Almighty created the Brahman. Brahman created the Paramatma created the universe. Yeah, go ahead.
Before Prajapati, Brahman was there.
Yeah.
So, Brahman was there. Brahman has created. Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then regarding this Apurva, during this concept of Apurva, as per Newton third law, reactions may not be material immediately. It may take some time, like that I told. So that means if you relate with the chanting of mantras, the reactions, the effect of mantras will take time. Am I right, sir?
Of course. Yes.
So that depends.
Sometimes it can happen immediately, sometimes can happen some other time.
So that depend on the individual's power on the chanting of mantras.
It depends on the mantra also and the intention of the mantra also.
Mantra also.
See, for example, if you do the kama, if you do for the Putra Kameshti Yaga, children cannot come just like that, right? Dasharatha did, Dasharatha did, Rama came after 12 months. So, mantra effect is after 12 months.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you once
Yeah.
again for the full lecture.
Right. So there are two more questions in the chat box. There is a lot of praise. Of course, definitely it is, not to say anything. Then one person says that my grandchildren also enjoyed his speech. He is 9-year-old and he's asking for the book. So it's a really great observation or effect of this lecture.
I want all of you to see my shoulder. I will padding myself.
Please do on our behalf. Yeah.
This is a real compliment.
Right. Thank you. And that too from a 9-year-old is Bala
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So now the question is that Rigvedam gives Mahapurusha is prominent, but you are mentioning Yajurvedam Vishnu is prominent than Mahapurusha. Is it?
No. So it's wrong. I mean, maybe I misspoke, but Mahapurusha is Mahapurusha. Vishnu is in Aruna Prasna. Vishnu is nothing but the gravity element of the Mahapurusha. That's it. It's a small subset. It's one attribute. That's called gravity. Here, Vishnu is very limited for gravity attribute. Nothing else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hope it is clarified. Please, please go through the video again because it's very, very complicated and don't jump into conclusions. Please go through the book. Please go through the video. You'll have more clarifications. And the other question is Aruna Prasna related to Surya Namaskara?
Yes.
And
yes.
The other thing
Because
is
we do here once in a year on the Ratha Saptami day.
Yeah.
Or following Saturday, because we go every day. In US, everything is on Saturday and weekends only. Even God comes on Wednesday. We will request him to come on Saturday because that's about it. So So once in a year we do in one of my friend's house. We have been doing it for last 7 years. So what we do is for every mantra, every Anuvaka, we do a Sastanga Namaskara. Sorry, not Sastanga Namaskara, what do you call it? Surya Namaskara. So we have got 32 Anuvakas, we do 32 Anuvakas. Then we have got so many other mantras also, we do all that. All together, I think we are more or less, we are looking at 70 times we do the Surya Namaskaras. So we will have a big halls in every house. And yeah, we chant, we take a break, we do the Namaskara, and we'll get back and we'll chant other mantras, other Anuvakas, then we'll do. And the host who's actually doing it, he will be going around the Homa Gunda. Then, yeah, so basically, predominantly in our houses, if you see in the villages, people, priests, Pandits used to come, or still actually they are doing. It's like Aruna Mantra Prashnas only they chant.
Okay. What is the difference between Aruna Prashna and Saura Mantra Patham?
Oh, those are different. Saura Mantram is Rigvedam.
Okay.
Yeah, Aruna Prashna is Krishna Yajurveda.
I think
So Saura Mantra is also called Mahasauram. It's Rigveda Mantra, and also the same thing can be okay. Text is the same thing, but people actually, some sampradayas actually borrowed this Rigveda mantra and they do it the way actually in Krishna Yajurveda mantras. So just want to give you an information here.
right. I think we have come to some questions, and some people still are yet to digest what has been said today, and they'll have more questions maybe to come. They can get the answers through the book, and also maybe they can write back with their questions, and we'll come back to you, Sitaram Garu.
Oh, I'm available. Yes, please.
Right. Srinivas Garu, చెప్పండి.
సార్ ఇందాక నంబూరు శ్రీహరి గారు అడిగిన ప్రశ్న ఉంది కదా, టైం డైరెక్షన్స్ కూడా చేంజ్, దట్ కెన్ బి ఇంటర్ప్రిటెడ్ త్రూ ఉత్తరాయణ అండ్ దక్షిణాయన, the change of direction.
Change of direction ante
in that also the sun will be moving. Okay.
చెప్పండి సీతారాం గారు,
చెప్పండి మీరు చెప్పండి, ఒక క్వశ్చన్ అడిగాను కరెక్ట్ గా.
అదే ఇందాక నంబూరు శ్రీహరి గారు అడిగారు కదా, while taking the time into consideration, the directions of the east or something that also will be changing, no? So if you take Uttarayana or Dakshinayana, the sun rises in from rising directions also will change, no? From it passes from.
No.
Is it
sun rises in the east? Sun rises in
no.
the east.
That means what I meant, sun rises in the east only, but it moves from north to south and south to north, no? That's what I'm asking.
Oh, correct. But it is.
Can it be interpreted like that? No.
We can, but the thing is, the time component is to do with the space time. It is part of the space. It's not the direction of the movement. So it's a bit complicated, but one aspect is you can that's one aspect is Uttarayanam Dakshinayanam. Because it's a direction, it is appearing that way, but it is nothing to do with the time component of space time.
Also, one point to be understood is that all these components of astronomical nature, they are in billions of years, and as far as we are concerned, our life is concerned, they are all static. They are all constant. And not only our generation, in the future, all it's static. It is only when you go to the bigger framework, then these things appear to be changed. Basically, when the pralaya happens and everything collapses, maybe we have new directions. Till then, everything is static.
Yeah, but for to ask this, the gentleman's question.
Yeah.
So we have got north and south, right? Say for example, this is like this: north up and south is here. Okay, we have got that. So every 60,000 years, scientists figured that ice age. That what's that they call? So north will become south and south become north. Okay. Even at that time, it still holds good. Sun rises in the east. So I ran a mathematical model, hypothetical model, a thought experiment. But it's still sunrise. If somebody actually still alive lives up when when that happens, but still he sees a sunrises in the east. That's how it is. Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, Pantul garu.
Sir,
Last question.
sorry, sir. Last question. Sorry, sir. The sun is static. It's not moving. Huh? Only
Oh,
Earth
no,
is.
it is moving, sir. Ayo, it is moving, sir.
Sun is moving. Huh?
Everything in the universe, including the Milky Way galaxy, is moving.
Right, sir. Thank you.
Sun is not. So that's why we see our brains. I mean, at least my mind, my brain, until I started actually studying very closely, two-dimensional picture, and the 7th class, 3rd or 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, one page, and you will have sun in the middle and star planets in around the elliptical circles. That's my plan. That is my idea, but that is not right actually. Yeah.
Yeah, this is
That's why I shown these pictures, because unless I shown these pictures, we cannot go beyond our frozen minds, frozen brains. Yeah.
right. Very difficult. Very difficult to come. Very difficult to come out from that frame to this frame.
Exactly. Correct. That's why we need satsang.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay, Saraswati, and we'll get it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Dhanyawadalu, and thank you very much. And people who are trying to ask for the book, please contact Colonel Babu Garu and get the clarification.
Yeah,
And,
I'll talk about it also.
yeah. It's all for the.
A very big thanks to you, and also University Krishnamurti Garu, VC of National Sanskrit University. He made a reference recently about your book.
Oh.
In one reference, yeah.
I don't know.
No, I was sitting there in an audience. It was a very big this one where the governor also was present. In fact, it was for the convocation. And he made a reference about your name and all, and he was telling, he just pointed towards me and he said that she brought a gentleman from US who released a book on Aruna Prasna and all. There was very good accolades from the governor also. Governor also said, oh, really great. It was a very good one. I just wanted to tell you what. After that, and even Murli Krishna, Dr. Murli Krishna also, he refers your book in Ramakrishna Bhatt. Once he made a reference with the Swamiji. It was a discussion with all the Swamis. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Twice or thrice the reference has come in Tirupati. Yeah, about the book. By the university professors, I mean to say. Yeah. Okay. Very nice. My wife to your wife and daughter. Okay. We'll keep in touch. Yeah, thank you.
Sitaram Garu, people want your phone number. So
yes, please
I'll put it in the group for people to get in touch with you. Some people are staying in US, so I think they are trying to get in touch with you. Or otherwise also. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, giving the opportunity.
Hope to meet you again frequently and get more enlightenment. Thank you and wish you all the best for your future endeavors in this direction.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much for your blessings.
Oh yeah, sir.
Are you related to Pantularama by any means?
No, sir. I'm native of
Pantularama.
Maybe surname Faram. We are basically from Visakhapatnam area.
Yeah, she's also from Vizag. I am also. I studied music, Carnatic classical music from Yuvudir Vijayasrao garu. That's where I met Pantularama garu. Yeah.
No, we are migrated. Long back, our forefathers migrated to Anantapur, sir.
Oh, okay.
That's the thing.